Welcome back to Urban Explorer. Today we unravel the stories of 5 nations teetering on the edge of collapse. The clock is ticking. 2025 might just bring the unthinkable. From economic implosions to political unrest, these countries are facing crises that could reshape our world. Let's dive into the top 5 fastest collapsing countries of 2025. At number 5, Sri Lanka, a nation strangled by debt. Sri Lanka, once a tropical paradise and a thriving tourism hub, now faces an economic crisis of unprecedented scale. The country is drowning in debt, with inflation spiraling out of control. Families struggle to afford basics like rice, vegetables, and fuel, while power cuts and food shortages have become common occurrences. The scars of recent political uprisings and widespread corruption are still fresh, leaving citizens disillusioned with their leaders. Fast forward to 2025. Sri Lanka's woes could intensify as its debt to foreign creditors grows unmanageable. The government may be forced to make difficult decisions, such as slashing essential services or increasing taxes, which could fuel social unrest. The collapse of critical infrastructure, such as water supply and healthcare, could deepen poverty and push more families into dire circumstances. What happens when a nation defaults on its obligations? A complete breakdown of essential services could follow, and civil unrest might resurface with devastating consequences. For its people, the dream of recovery remains elusive. The impact of international interventions and potential humanitarian crises could push Sri Lanka further into chaos. As the world watches, one question looms. Is there a path back to stability? Or is Sri Lanka doomed to continue down its current path? Number 4. Lebanon, a fragile state crumbling under pressure. Lebanon has long been the land of contradictions, incredible beauty juxtaposed with staggering dysfunction. Since the explosion in Beirut's port in 2020, the country has struggled to rebuild its economy, trust in governance, and basic infrastructure. The Lebanese pound has lost over 90% of its value, and daily life is defined by scarcity, electricity, clean water, and hope. People are forced to rely on private generators, leading to exorbitant electricity bills that few can afford. The healthcare system, once a beacon for the region, is now under immense strain, with medicines and medical supplies in short supply. By 2025, Lebanon could face an even darker reality. With no significant reforms in sight, corruption and sectarian divisions may deepen, pushing the country closer to total collapse. International aid might dwindle as global priorities shift, leaving Lebanon to fend for itself. A brain drain is already accelerating, and by 2025, Lebanon may see a near-total exodus of young talent, leaving an aging population behind to deal with crumbling systems. As social fabric frays, protests and civil disobedience might become the new normal. The question of whether Lebanon will become a failed state is no longer just a possibility. It's a tangible concern. Could international intervention come too late to prevent complete disintegration? Or will the people rise in a final bid to save their home? The stakes are higher than ever, and the world holds its breath. Number 3. Haiti, a nation battling chaos. Haiti's challenges are both historic and ongoing, from natural disasters to systemic corruption. In recent years, gang violence has spiraled out of control, and the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021 left the nation reeling. Basic governance is absent in many regions, and the average citizen faces unimaginable hardships just to survive. The country's infrastructure is in shambles, with roads impassable and hospitals unable to provide proper care. The lack of a comprehensive government has left the country fragmented, with powerful gangs seizing control of entire areas. By 2025, Haiti could descend further into lawlessness. Without a functioning government, armed groups might claim total control over large areas, creating lawless zones that no one dares enter. The humanitarian crises could grow to an unprecedented scale, with an estimated 60% of the population already living below the poverty line. International intervention might become unavoidable. Yet history shows such efforts often bring more harm than good. A nation with no hope of stability risks becoming a failed state, where survival is the only priority. Will Haiti find a way to rise from the ashes? Or will it become a cautionary tale of what happens when a nation is left to fall apart? Even if outside assistance comes, will it be enough to halt the downward spiral before it's too late? The people of Haiti deserve better. But as things stand, the road to recovery looks nearly impossible. Number 2 is Pakistan, the power keg of South Asia. Pakistan, a nuclear-armed nation, finds itself at the intersection of political instability, economic turmoil, and environmental crisis. Inflation has soared, devastating floods, and displaced millions, and political chaos has paralyzed decision-making. The country's reliance on foreign aid and IMF bailouts grows ever more precarious. As the nation grapples with its massive debt, fundamental services such as education and healthcare are becoming luxuries rather than rights. This economic instability has fueled resentment, and violent protests could become more common in the coming years. In 2025, Pakistan might become a flashpoint with global repercussions. Imagine a scenario where its economic fragility leads to widespread unrest, spilling over into neighboring regions. Water scarcity, already a looming threat, could spark internal and cross-border conflicts. The threat of radicalization may increase as young people face fewer opportunities and more disillusionment. Pakistan's collapse wouldn't just be a tragedy for its people. It could destabilize an entire region and draw in the interests of powerful global players. A divided nation with an uncertain future could destabilize the entire South Asian region, affecting billions of lives. Even if international support arrives, will it be enough to keep Pakistan from spiraling into chaos? The coming years will be crucial for a nation on the brink of a tipping point. With its strategic position and nuclear power, Pakistan's fate will have far-reaching implications beyond its borders. Number 1, the USA, the land of freedom on the brink. And here we are, the shocking finale. The United States of America, the world's most powerful country, now faces cracks in its foundation that could widen into chasms. Political polarization has reached fever pitch, with increasing violence and mistrust on both sides of the aisle. Economic inequality continues to grow, leaving millions behind in what was once the land of opportunity. Climate change is wreaking havoc, from devastating wildfires to catastrophic hurricanes, straining emergency services and displacing communities. What could 2025 hold for America? Picture a nation paralyzed by gridlock, where political divisions fuel unrest. States might defy federal authority, pushing the boundaries of unity itself. The possibility of an economic downturn, combined with social unrest, could ignite unprecedented challenges. A growing number of citizens are turning to extremist ideologies, further fracturing the nation. The specter of economic recession looms large, potentially leading to job losses and mass unemployment. The rise of social movements demanding radical change could push society further into disarray. The consequences could be catastrophic, not just for America, but for the world. Will the United States find a way to secure its future, or will it become a cautionary tale of collapse? America's place in the world order could shift dramatically as it faces internal chaos. Once a symbol of hope and prosperity, the USA could become a cautionary tale of how even the strongest powers can falter. What happens when the beacon of democracy struggles to maintain its light? The next few years will reveal whether the United States can find its way back to unity, or if history will mark 2025 as the beginning of its decline. The world watches as the fate of the United States hangs in the balance. If this shocks you, imagine what's next. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to Urban Explorer, and hit that notification bell. We're going to dive deeper into stories that matter, so don't miss out on what's coming next. The stories of these nations aren't just about statistics or policy. They're about people, resilience, and the fight for survival. From Sri Lanka's economic implosion to the United States' fragile unity, these are tales that challenge our understanding of progress and collapse. The question remains, can these nations recover? Or is it already too late? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, thank you for exploring with Urban Explorer. Stay curious, stay informed.